It's time for the Georgia State Sports Update. Hi again, Panther fans. Dave Cohen joined by Georgia State's head football coach Trent Miles. And coach, a successful trip all the way to Las Cruces, New Mexico. Panthers notched their first Sun Belt win, their first FBS win, and very successful football game, beating New Mexico State out there 34-32.
I thought our kids did a really good job of putting Charlotte out of their mind and going out and executing the plan. And we started really fast, had a lot of energy and focus, and probably turned the ball over more than we'd like to, but in the whole, we were able to run the football. We were very effective in the passing game. Defense, I thought, was very, very solid throughout the whole game, and we got the victory.
Coaches talk about improving from week 1 to week 2, especially early in the season, meaning game 1 to game 2. And there was a lot of areas that we saw improvement from the Charlotte game to going on the road for the first time and playing the Aggies out there.
I thought they did a great job playing together. Mm-hmm. Offense, defense, special teams, putting it all together for 4 quarters, and we hadn't done that since we'd been here. So it was really good to see it for the young men. We're very excited for them and very happy for the program. And now we get the reward of going out to Eugene and playing the Ducks.
Boy, it was an exciting football game. Came down really to the final minute. Some huge, and I underline the word huge, plays by our defense. They missed a 49-yard field goal, and at that point, we know we've got that win in our back pocket.
Yeah, well, we should have had it well before that. We turned the ball over twice in the third quarter on consecutive series. We had a mistake on defense. We get a game-ending interception, and we get called for a defensive lineman grabbing a face mask of an offensive lineman. So there were some things that we felt, that we could have done a lot better. Right before the half, we throw a deep ball, hitch and go to Nike height. We're first and goal inside the 10, but it gets called back because of in a illegal formation alignment from one of our offensive linemen. So all those little things you've got to cut out, and when we do that, we'll be a very, very productive football team.
You know, I go back to, what was it, a year ago, even 2 years, and we've talked about this, where you had the sledgehammer, getting over the hump. Granted, there were some mistakes made in the New Mexico State game, but finally, we got over the hump and were able to make the plays when we needed it, even late, to get that win.
And that's the key, because there's always going to be mistakes in a game.
Yeah.
There's no perfect game in football, so there's always going to be something. And to have the resiliency to overcome it says a lot about our kids' character and their determination to get it done. And I'm very proud of them and very excited for them.
Well, isn't that all part of the process? And I know it's kind of cliche-ish, but learning how to win.
Yeah.
That was a perfect game that you'd put underneath the moniker of learning how to win the football game.
People don't want to hear that. So, I'm making excuses if I tell the truth. So I kind of be quiet about that and avoid that. And yes, it is part of the process, but nobody wants to hear about that. They just want to hear about the win. So, we'll keep learning as we go, and there's no such thing. People don't want to hear the word patience or anything like that. But these young guys are growing and they're learning, and we're in a position to expect a win.
Again, though, what you said is true. That's for programs that maybe have been playing for 100 years.
They still don't want to hear it.
I know, but we're talking about a program that's in year 6.
I know that. You know that.
Yeah.
It's people that really understand know, but most people don't get it yet, and they want it to happen right now, just the way it is with our society.
Yeah.
Everything has to be right now, and so we're putting it on us as a coaching staff to get it done right now.
A lot of guys to talk about. Let's start with, normally I would say let's start with your quarterback, Nick Arbuckle. Nick had a great game, much better game than he had for most of the game against Charlotte. 372 yards, completed 32 of his passes. But I think the one thing that I like the most, 200-plus yards running the football.
Yeah, Nick did a great job we go to the line of scrimmage with 2 plays. We don't go with just one. And we coached him up on what to look for, and he did a great job of recognizing the defense and getting us into the right runs that we had on the play call list, and we were able to get 210 yards rushing, and I thought the young guys up front did a really good job. I mean, Gabe Mobley was playing in his first ever football game in college, and he started center for us, so he had to make a lot of calls up there to set the the offensive line and what they have to do. So there was a lot of young men that performed well. And as a result, we got the victory.
Talking a little bit about that running game, and I was happy for him because he was hurt a good bit of the year last year, and that's Kyler Neal came out and ran for 2 touchdowns. DeMarcus Kirk playing in his first game looked really good once Taz Bateman wasn't available. And then on the receiving end, who was this guy? Penny Hart. This guy's tearing it up so far through 2 games. He does not look like a freshman.
Well, fortunately, we've known who Penny Hart is for quite a while now, and it's just the type of young man that he is. He's beaming with confidence, but he's got a great personality. He's a great young man, and it carries over to the football field, his energy and his abilities, very, very explosive. If people go to YouTube, they can pull him up. They can see him do a windmill dunk on a 10-foot basketball goal with just taking 2 steps. So, I mean, this is a young man that's very, very explosive, and thank goodness we got him into our summer camps when we had camp.
Special player, though, because they talk about freshmen making the jump. Well, making the jump from playing high school football, and he played at a lower level of high school football in the state of Georgia private school, to making that jump to playing Division I football in the Sun Belt. He doesn't, you watch him in the first 2 games, he doesn't look like there's, and I say not much of an adjustment. He looks like he has picked it up pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's a very intelligent young man,
yeah.
And nothing really phases him. He's grounded. He's got a purpose in life, and we're glad he's part of our team.
Well, Georgia State, again, a big win, and we've talked about offense, but one of the other stats that kind of jumps off the page, you held New Mexico State to just 84 yards rushing, and that's obviously, the defense played, pretty well for most of the night, but really, I don't want to say shut down their running game, but did a pretty close job of that.
Well, in this day and age, they had a back that was 1,100-yard rusher last year as a freshman, so when you hold him to less than 100 yards, you are shutting them down. They will get, with the spread offenses, there is yardage there because they spread you out. So I thought our defensive players played extremely well against the run, but I also thought that our defensive staff and Jesse Minter called a great game, as did Luke Heward on the offensive side.
Once again, Joe Peterson leads the way, 8 tackles. Michael Shaw, who sat out last year, boy, he's made an impact now that he's getting some playing time. And Alonzo McGee, one of your Alabama-Birmingham transfers, just continues to make a big contribution.
Yeah, I thought the play that Alonzo made on the stopping him at the 1-inch line, the 1-foot line, getting the guy out of bounds, just shows the type of speed that our defense has and he has, and the pursuit that we have, which we work on every day. But he made a great play, which allowed us to play one more down, and fourth down we were able to knock the ball out of the receiver's hands and get the ball back. So it was a great play for him.
You know, if I had $1 for every time you and I in the last, 2.5 years have talked about needing to stay out of third and long situations, for the most part, stayed out of third and long, but you're right at 50%, 8 out of 16, which goes a long way to being successful.
We were still in too long of a third down situation. We averaged it up after the game. Our average third down situation was 3rd and 7.
Which is still a little higher than you would
That's
like.
higher than we want, because when you do breakdowns, it's 3rd and 1 to 2 short yardage, 3rd and 3 to 6 is medium, 7 to 10 is long yardage, and 11 plus is extra long. So we were at the bottom part of the long yardage, but a little bit farther than we really need to be or want to be, or that third down conversion percentage will go up.
Again, I mentioned at the top of the show, because talk always seems to start and end with the quarterback, but Nick threw for 372 yards. You know, he's managing the game out there as an extension of the coaches. You know, you look at what he was able to do coming out and being so much more comfortable, it seemed like. We talked about those first 3 scoring drives, 13 plays, 12 plays. I mean, offense is holding on to the football, they're making plays, they're going up and down the field, and we're putting points on the board.
Yeah, with the talent that we have, the more we have the ball, the better. We ran 38 first quarter plays, and so that's quite a bit. You know, we ran 89 for the game, 38 in the first quarter, and so anytime you've got the ball, your odds of scoring go up and up. And with the way we're doing it with the up-tempo offense, you can tire out the defense. So,
right.
You know, and at the same time give your defense rest on the sideline. So it's huge that we keep possession of the football, and that's what goes back to the third downs. You want to keep them in 3rd and short to 3rd and mediums to be able to manage it very well. And I thought we did a good job in the game and put the points on the board and move the ball up and down the field.
All right, nice win for Georgia State. Now 1-1 on the season. And Coach, let's talk just briefly about week 3, because I feel like it's deja vu. We went to play the Washington Huskies out in Seattle a year ago, and this year we're
Why
going.
did we do that?
I don't know. This year we're going all the way back to Oregon, and we're going to play the Oregon Ducks. They're 1-1 in the season, coming off for them a disappointing loss to Michigan State. Just talk a little bit about having, number one, take the team out there. We were just out in New Mexico. We come back to Atlanta. Got to get on a plane again and go all the way out to the West Coast. But at the same time, it's exciting to go out there and play, a top 20 team.
Oh, they're better than a top 20 team. I mean, this is a team that played for the national championship last year, and they're very, very talented. It's a tough environment to play in. It's a great stadium. It'll be very, very loud. The fans will be right on top of you. It's one of the best environments on game day in all of college football. It's a great opportunity for our young men to go and go out there and get a victory against a premier program, a Power 5 program that is competing for national championships. So we're going on that plane with the no excuses and with the idea that we're going there to win, and that's the only thing that we're going out there to do.
And again, you guys will watch some film of Oregon, but as you've told me time and time again, we're more concerned with what we have to do and what we're going to try to execute on that field than worrying about what Oregon's doing.
Yeah, you can't worry about Oregon. Oregon's Oregon. I mean, they're going to be a very fast team. They've got a lot of speed. They've got some size up front. They're going to be an excellent football team, one of the best in the nation. So we just worry about what we do and worry about our execution and how we perform and play to our ability, and it'll take care of itself.
All right, so the Panthers back in Atlanta following a 34-32 win on the road in Las Cruces against the Aggies of New Mexico State. Time now for Coach and I to move on to our next segment, and this, I think, is Coach's favorite segment of the show, and that's Questions for Coach Trent Miles.
Hello, my name is Mayada Nation, and I'm a psychology major here at Georgia State University. Coach, first off, congratulations on the win. How much confidence does a win like the one against New Mexico State give your student athletes?
Coach, our first question from a student on campus, Mayada, and coming off this win over New Mexico State, what kind of confidence does that give the coaching staff and the players as you get ready for week 3?
Well, anytime that you can win, it gives you confidence. And when you haven't won very many games, 0 our first year and 1 last year, and you go out and you win against an FBS opponent in their house on the road, it does a great thing for our young men's confidence, because now it validates everything that we've been telling them, that they're good enough. We're finally big enough and fast enough. Now it came down to just us going out and proving it on the football field, and they did that. And I think you'll see them shine from here on out.
Hi, my name is Amanda Letaw from the Department of Communication, and I have a question for Coach. Coach, I know you probably spend all of your time focusing on Georgia State football. Do you ever get to be a fan and watch other games?
All right, Coach, thanks to Mayada for that first question. Second question, Coach, from Amanda, and this has to do, you played college football. You've been coaching college football for years, so a lot of your time is focused every week during the season getting your team ready. How much time do you get to just, I don't know, maybe not be a fan, but sit and watch college football without making it like you're watching game film?
Well, what we do, we work pretty hard. So Sunday, I don't have a chance to watch football. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But Thursday, we get home relatively early. And thank goodness the NFL and ESPN shows college football games on Thursday night. So I usually sit around and watch with my kids and watch some football. And then Saturdays, what my wife does is she records all the games for us. So whatever time I get home after our game on a Saturday, I'll stay up till 2, 3 in the morning and watch all the other games to kind of stay up on what everybody else is doing and how they're approaching the game. And I'm never a fan. I'm always watching and evaluating and seeing how other people are lining up and what they're doing. And most of the time, I'm really spending time watching friends. You know, I've got a lot of friends around the nation that are coaching, and some of them are coaching in the NFL, and some of them are playing in the NFL, and a lot of them are coaching in college. So I'm trying to watch them and support them and figure out what they're doing and maybe see if it's something that we can apply to our team.
Hello, my name is LaDacia Johnson. I'm a film and video major here at Georgia State. Coach, Nick Arbuckle seems to be a real leader for your team. How important is that to have a great leader like him, and what does that do for a program?
All right, Coach, our third question, and we want to thank Amanda for the second question, but LaDacia, Coach, wants to know about Nick Arbuckle, the leadership. We talked about him in the first segment. You know, what it's like for you as a coach and for your, Luke Heward and Jeff Jagodzinski to have a guy like Nick Arbuckle on the field, almost an extension of you guys, what his leadership means to this team.
Well, it means everything. You have to have leadership from your players. Coaches can't play for them. They can't go out on the field. So you've got to have the young men in the locker room, in the apartment or the dorms, and in the dining hall, in the study hall, all the time. The players have to be the leaders. And when your quarterback has to be that guy. If you don't have a leadership at quarterback, you're in trouble. So quarterback is the leader. And not just Nick, but Amir Scaife does a great job. Aaron Winchester will do a great job. And we've developed leadership within our program in a lot of other positions. You get to the defensive side, you got guys like Tars Patisse, Joe Peterson, Bobby Baker, Shawane Lawrence. There's a lot of guys that are stepping into those roles. So when you have that, that means you've got players that have taken ownership in your program, and they believe in what you're doing, and they're trying to lead everyone else into doing things the right way, and that's the key to being successful.
All right, we want to thank all of our students and staff for their questions this week. We look forward to more questions next week for head coach Trent Miles. Coach, appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Great win on the road at New Mexico State, and we'll talk to you next week here as we see how we do out there in Eugene against the Ducks of Oregon.
Well, our expectation is to go win.
All righty, we'll be back with Coach next week as well as we break down the Oregon Duck-Georgia State football game. Time now for today's Alumni Panther Profile. We're going to catch up with one of the former Georgia State basketball greats. He's now back at Georgia State as a department employee. Today we catch up with former Panther Jihad Ali.
But winning culture for an athletic program can do so much for a university, and definitely you have people proud to say they're from Georgia State or they go to Georgia State. When Georgia State basketball just had this tournament run, a lot of people came out of the woodworks, proud to say they went to Georgia State, proud of being an alum of Georgia State. That culture just brings a lot of excitement to Georgia State and to the overall success of the program. I was intrigued to come to Georgia State, definitely a hometown kid, growing up in Atlanta. My mother was an alum. On my visit here, I met some great guys on the team, and that came down to my decision to come to Georgia State. First couple of years at Georgia State, I definitely started out, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to major in finance. Didn't know what path in finance I wanted to do, but the support at Georgia State helped me go down different avenues, trying to figure out what I really liked. Basketball-wise, I definitely learned a lot, real-world experience. I knew how to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, be ready for practice, and have long hours until maybe 8 or 9 o'clock at night. That definitely helped me now in my work life and moving forward. First impression of Coach Hunter, you definitely notice his personality. Really funny guy, really passionate guy. During the season, the joke of the team was just his suits. Coming from Indiana, he had these huge suits, and it just was the funniest thing we've ever seen. Now he'll tell you he's the best dressed coach in America. Something I think he was actually voted for one of the best looking coaches in America. Something he really takes pride in and lets you know best dressed in America. When Coach Hunter first came, he said, "I'm going to make you a winner." We were on our 11-game winning streak. We were on the road at VCU. We had never beat VCU at VCU. I can just remember so many people on Instagram, on Twitter, on social media just being so proud of us. Then the game was on ESPN3, and I might have had 10 to 15 text messages after the game. And that's the first time I felt like a rock star. It's the camaraderie that we had with my teammates. Winning definitely brings you closer. From his first day, he changed the whole culture of Georgia State basketball. The way we traveled, the things we did on the road, the things we did off the court, on the court, he just was a lot of fun. It really changed my whole perspective on college. I owe him so much about my college experience because I had fun. And when I look back on college, I don't really remember the losing times and things of that nature. So after my basketball career was coming to an end, I was still in grad school. Coach Hunter, some of the assistant coaches worked out an internship for me to work at Turner Sports. From there, I worked with NCAA Digital, handling a lot of business operations and digital media things, setting up live video, live stats for the NCAA tournament. Without coming to Georgia State, I wouldn't have had that connection. Being at Georgia State, the location, there's so many companies in Atlanta. You have so many different people on campus that know other people around the town that have different positions in different companies. It definitely is a good way to get your foot in the door. It means a lot to be part of the first team, Coach Hunter coach. Definitely changed my whole perspective.
And great to catch up with former Panther Jihad Ali, and great to have him back at the sports arena as part of the athletic department. Right now it's time for On the Schedule. Along with football, very busy time. We've got soccer, we've got volleyball, we've got cross country. Time now to take a look at what's coming up this week in Georgia State athletics. On the schedule this week, coming up Saturday, September the 19th. Again, 2 o'clock kickoff East Coast time. Coach Miles and the football team will be out in Eugene, Oregon, taking on the Oregon Ducks. You can see that one on the Pac-12 network as well as listen to us on the radio. Coming up on Sunday, September 20th, we've got women's soccer. The Panthers undefeated to this point. They're going to host Davidson out at the GSU Soccer Complex. Thursday, September 24th at 6 p.m., we've got the conference opener for the volleyball team. They'll be hosting the Bobcats of Texas State at the GSU Sports Arena. On Friday and Saturday, September 25th and 26th, all day we've got Georgia State men's tennis participating in the Georgia Tech Fall Invitational. On Friday, September the 25th, women's soccer, again undefeated, going to play their conference opener against the Warhawks of Louisiana Monroe. It's their first conference game. That'll be out at the GSU Soccer Complex. Also on Friday, September the 25th at 6 p.m., women's cross country heading down 85 to Macon, Georgia. They're going to participate in the Mercer Invitational. And that's what's going on this week in Georgia State athletics. Time now for our Panther Pump segment here on the Georgia State Sports Update. I'm out of practice each and every week, get a chance to see how the Panthers work out and get ready for each and every game. And now it's an opportunity for you to up your game. And this week, our strength and conditioning coach, Scott Holsopple, going to talk a little bit about manual resistance training. Take a look.
Okay, now we're moving on to the third exercise. You've seen the perfect push-up, the perfect chin-up. Now I'm going to cover something that most people have never done before. It's called manual resistance exercise. It's where me, the coach, and Coach Kramer here, he's using me as his weight. I am resisting him. Now, we covered accountability and discipline before. he has a cadence. So everything that we do on the concentric part, which is him pushing it away from, is going to be on 2 seconds. The eccentric part of the exercise is going to be 4 seconds, which is going to be 6 seconds per repetition. So he knows that he has to keep up with that cadence no matter what happens. I am his resistance. So if we're doing 12 repetitions, the first 3 to 4, I'm feeling his range of motion, we're getting in sync together. The next 3 to 4 repetitions is I'm making it a little bit harder for him. The last 3 to 4 repetitions, he's going as hard as he can, keeping that 2-4 count, but we've pre-exhausted him, so he's got nothing left, and we'll be going to failure. This first one we'll show you is what we call manual resistance side raise. So Coach Kramer will step in front of me, and I'll go behind. Now, on this exercise, the spotter, it's a first-class lever, so my hands are at his wrist. He drives up, 1, 2, he pauses, and down 4, 3, 2, 1, nice and smooth, right back up. So he keeps the cadence of 2 and 4 that I gave him, and at the bottom, he doesn't take tension off his muscle. He has constant tension the whole entire time. And I keep working through the full range of motion, up 2, down 4, 3, 2, 1. Now he's going to drive up, 1, 2. Now he's going to resist as hard as he can for 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping tension, no tension let off. And me as a spotter, I have to feel the tension. I have to make sure that he's pressing the whole entire time. Nice and slow, keep it tight, big drive, up, 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 up. Now I'm starting to add a little more resistance to him. Nice and tight, and I'm slightly pulling him back, but I'm making sure I feel tension out of the bottom of the range of motion. He drives up, 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 pause, resist. Nice and smooth. That's it, nice and tight, and big drive up, 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 up. Good, stay up tall, big drive, big drive, big drive. Stick it down slow. Push me up, push me up, push me up. That's it, that's it. Push, 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 and big drive up. Nice and high, finish it, stay up tall, don't lean back, stay up tall, stay up tall, stay up tall. Resist, resist, that's it. That's it. Give me 2 more great reps. 2 more great reps. Big drive, big drive, big drive, big drive. Keep those palms down. Don't change your form. All the way up, all the way up. Resist. That's it. Last rep. Last rep. Go. Go. All the way up. Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Drive, 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 drive. Finish. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. Hold it right there. Keep it down. And nice and smooth on the way down. Good. What you're looking for is constant tension until it can no longer perform another perfect repetition. Once again, I want to thank you for tuning in to another show. I hope it motivates you to get yourself up off the couch and get yourself a workout in yourself. Until next time, I'm Scott Holsopple, the head strength conditioning coach at Georgia State University.
All right, I want to thank Scott Holsopple, strength and conditioning coach, and Kobe Kramer for this week's Panther Pump segment. We'll see them again next week. Meantime, it's a tall task for Trent Miles and the Georgia State football team heading to the West Coast to take on the Oregon Ducks. That'll be Saturday at 2 o'clock. Again, you can see it on the Pac-12 network. You can see it online. You can listen to us on the Georgia State Radio Network. I want to thank the entire crew. For Coach Miles, I'm Dave Cohen. We'll see you next week right here on the Georgia State Sports Update.